Elizabeth's sex was a disappointment to Henry. Astrologers had assured him that the baby to be born in September 1533 would be a boy. He already had one daughter, the 17-year-old Mary. What he wanted was a son and heir. But although Elizabeth was a girl, the magnificent christening planned for the longed-for prince went ahead. Every detail had been seen to, down to the brazier to warm the water in the font. She was even proclaimed princess, the title of the heir to the throne.
Elizabeth ego te baptizo in nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti. Amen.
According to the French ambassador, the whole occasion was so perfect that nothing was lacking. Actually, things were far from perfect at Elizabeth's baptism, because Elizabeth was the child of a second marriage, and Henry's second marriage, like many second marriages today, aroused very strong feelings. For instance, the imperial ambassador refused point blank to attend the baptism. He even refused to recognize Anne Boleyn, Elizabeth's mother, as Henry's wife. Instead, he sneeringly referred to her as the whore. And as for little Elizabeth, she was the bastard. Even one of the officiating clergy, when he was asked, had the baby been baptized in hot water or in cold, replied, hot, but not hot enough. Henry divorced his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, because she had not given him a son. But now her replacement, Anne Boleyn, was having her own gynecological problems. After 2 miscarriages, she finally had a baby boy, but it was stillborn. Anne had failed in her principal duty as royal breeding machine. Meanwhile, Henry had fallen in love with another woman, Jane Seymour. For Anne, the end came with terrifying swiftness. She was accused of multiple adultery with 4 of the gentlemen of the king's chamber and of incest with her own brother. All of the accused were found guilty, and Anne herself was executed here on Tower Green on the 19th of May, 1536. Henry showed a single gesture of mercy towards the woman that he'd once loved so much, and her head was removed at a single stroke with a sword, rather than being hacked off with the axe. Elizabeth was only 3 when her mother was executed as a traitor and a whore. For many children, this would have been a lifelong trauma, but Elizabeth seems to have airbrushed her mother from her memory. It was to be Henry who filled her world. Anne Boleyn's fall marked a major step down in the world for the young Elizabeth. Her parents' marriage was declared null and void. She was now illegitimate and unable to inherit the throne. So, instead of the right high and mighty princess, the Lady Elizabeth, inheritrix of the crown of England, she became the Lady Elizabeth, the king's second bastard daughter. Elizabeth's sudden loss of status threw the little court where she had been brought up into confusion. Even her governess, Lady Bryan, didn't know what to do and wrote to the king's minister, Thomas Cromwell, for guidance. How should the little girl be treated? By the way, could she please have some more clothes? She'd outgrown absolutely everything she had. But above all, where should she eat? Was she old enough to eat here in the great hall, served on the dais? Or should she continue to eat in her chamber, where it would be easier to keep her away from the rich foods that were so bad for her teeth and her digestion?